Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So today's pick a card reading is going to be all about giving you the reassurance that you need to know that you are doing an amazing job. If you felt drawn to and clicked on this reading, it is very likely that you could give yourself a lot more credit for how well you're doing on your journey. So if you have been doubting yourself, if you have been worried about the future or worried about choices that you are currently making, worried if you're doing the right thing, worried if you're doing a good job, I hope that this reading can bring you some clarity and some comfort. So there's 3 groups to choose from today. I'm going to show you each of these crystals up close one by one. If you do feel drawn to more than one today, I feel like this is going to be one of those readings where you don't want to limit yourself. So for example, if you felt drawn to all 3, there may be some comforting and reassuring messages for you in all 3 groups. So please feel free to listen to any and all that you feel drawn to. But without further ado, let's get a close-up look at each of your options. For my group number 1s, we have Merlinite. For my group number 2s, we have Fire Agate. And for my group number 3s, we have Moss Agate. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number 1s, so if you guys chose the Merlinite, this is going to be your reading. I just wanted to mention that before I started filming, I had the song Agora Hills by Doja Cat stuck in my head, so I haven't heard that song in a really long time, so that might be significant for someone, but yeah, let's get into it. So this is our breakdown of today's reading. We are going to start by seeing what you are doing right and what you should give yourself more credit for right now. And we're also going to see what are you currently overthinking about that you can let go of. Then we're going to see if you stay in your current energy, where will that lead you? What will manifest? And then we're going to finish off with any messages or advice that your spirit guides want to give you. So that's going to be our reading today. Thank you so much for being here, and let's get into it. My group number 1s. I just saw 111 and I was thinking, like, are we gonna take reversals today? I feel like we are. And then I saw 111 right after that. So maybe look out for angel numbers as a sort of confirmation or even like a yes answer to your question. Yes to the thing that you are thinking about. Do that, go forward with that. Especially 111, 1111, I often feel like it's a green light from the universe. Maybe for some of you, what you are doing right is like if you've started a new path recently, or if you're thinking of starting a new journey, your spiritual team is like, yes, yes, do that. That is the right thing to do. That's gonna make you happy. It's time to turn a new leaf. I'm hearing something like there's a new era coming for you, but it doesn't feel forced. It's not like you are forcing a new era to happen just because you want change. It's a new era that feels like a smooth and natural transition. It just feels like the natural next step. Completely transforming just feels like the natural next step. Like it's just gonna happen. Also, while I was talking just now, I saw 214, which made me think of Valentine's Day. So at the time that I'm filming this, that's not for another few months, but maybe you're getting a nice surprise on Valentine's Day. That was also the birthday of our parrot Molly, who's on the other side now. So maybe you have an animal on the other side who's giving you a little greeting during this reading. What is group number one doing right? What can group number one give themselves more credit for? Okay, from the way the deck is behaving right now, there's something in your life that is taking time, but you are doing everything right. So something taking time does not mean that it's gone wrong. In fact, taking time means that everything is becoming very organized and everything is going to be executed perfectly. Imagine, okay, this is how your spiritual team is saying it. Imagine if a group of your friends were planning a surprise party for you and they're like, okay, we're gonna start planning it. And then, I don't know, 8 minutes later, they text you like, okay, we're done planning. You'll be like, oh, what? Are you like, is my party gonna be okay? Did you put planning into it? Did you put some effort? Your spiritual team is saying like, that's us. We're your friend group. And we're planning something amazing for you, and it's taking time because we are lining things up perfectly. And you are taking your time because you're doing everything right. And 444, as I'm saying that. Your journey is taking time because you're not cutting corners. Because you are taking a route of quality over quantity. You are building something real. You are building something lasting. Remember that. I'm also being shown a jewel. So this jewel could represent you, or it represents something that you're creating. And your spiritual team is saying like, this is an authentic jewel. It's not a fake that's going to like change color over time. It's not going to get cloudy. It's not going to rust. It's not going to turn your finger green. Like, this is the real deal. You are the real deal. Your journey and what you're creating is the real deal. And that's why it doesn't happen overnight. What are my group number ones doing right? What can they give themselves more credit for? We have the 8 of Cups. So you did the right thing by walking away from something. Quite often, I feel like with, okay, interesting. Quite often, I feel like with the 8 of Cups, it can indicate more of a metaphorical walking away rather than a physical one. Of course, you could have physically walked away from a place, like moved away or quit a workplace, quit a place of study, quit a living situation, like, yeah, moved away from a physical place. But the 8 of Cups, because cups relate to emotions, it can also just talk about the act of getting over something, like mentally and emotionally closing a door and moving on from something. I have this visual where it's like you've been walking away for a while, but until recently, it's like you were walking away, but still looking behind you. But now you're walking away and looking ahead. Rather than, okay, I'm moving on, but like, let me look over my shoulder to see if it's still there. Or let me just keep the back window open. Let me see if someone's checking on me. I'm gonna walk away, but let me see if someone's gonna follow me or try to stop me. Like, you're not doing that anymore. You're like, I don't care what you do. I'm not looking back. I'm not checking back. I'm walking forward and I'm looking forward. So maybe like you physically walked away a while ago and now your thoughts and emotions are catching up. Mentally and emotionally, you are truly walking away from something. And your spiritual team is saying that was the right thing to do. I think this 8 of Cups is very interesting because we do see that the cups are full. So you did walk away from something that, you know, it wasn't nothing. Maybe it had potential. Maybe it made you happy for a time. You know, it's a lot easier to walk away when the cups are empty. You know, that's logical. Like, there's nothing here. Makes sense to walk away. Walking away from cups that have something in them, it's a lot more difficult. So I think your spiritual team is really proud of you for prioritizing your well-being. And also the way these cups are stacked, it looks like precarious, like they could fall over. So maybe some of you walked away from a situation where there was too much perfection being expected of you, or you had to walk on eggshells to keep something. So for example, maybe you had a job and you're actually performing well in this job and it's going well, but it's so much pressure. Like if I make the smallest mistake, everything is going to come crumbling down and I can't live like this. Or like I'm making friends and making connections with all these cool people, but if I say the slightest wrong thing, they're all going to turn on me, or I'm not going to be cool anymore. I'm not going to be popular anymore. I can't live like that. Even if this situation is giving me something, this constant need to be perfect and walk on eggshells is not sustainable. And so we walk away. The Eight of Cups relates to Saturn in Pisces, and Saturn is retrograding in Pisces at the time that I'm filming this. So if you're watching this around the time it goes up, like 2025, basically, Saturn's going to be doing that, and maybe that is affecting you somehow. We have the Devil in reverse. This makes so much sense together. The Devil in reverse, I'm hearing you're free to go. Okay, I am hearing the voice of a spirit guide whose voice sounds like, this doesn't make sense in human speak. Their voice sounds like gold, like a vibrating gold bell or a vibrating gold cymbal. Like it's warm, it's resounding, it's clear. They have a distinct voice. I don't know, I'm picking up on your guide's presence, maybe from a realm where the five senses are not the same as the five senses we have here, because it's like their voice sounds like a color. Their voice sounds like a feeling. Maybe we have some synesthesia baddies in this group. Or maybe I'm just picking up on something from the non-physical realm. But I heard your spirit guide say warmly, and almost like in a congratulatory way, you're free to go. Like you remembered that you are free to go. So maybe there was a time in your past where this Devil card was upright, where limiting beliefs, self-limitations were keeping you stuck. And you felt tied. Oh, I just heard like, I'm nothing without this. Maybe that's like a really dramatized rendition of the ego. I'm nothing without this thing. Like maybe a lot of your self-worth was tied into this thing at one point, this thing that you are now walking away from. And the Devil in reverse feels like breaking that illusion of actually like, this isn't shit without me. In my humble opinion, like I don't need it. I am what made this special. I am special to me. My mind is what made it special. My beautiful outlook, my beautiful inner world is what made it special. But in my own life, wherever I go, that place becomes special. In my life, whatever I get involved in, that thing becomes special. In my story, right? This is not like the world revolves around me kind of thing. This is, I am the special main character of my own life kind of energy that I think you are embodying. And your spiritual team is really proud of you for that. Once you healed from these limiting beliefs and insecurities, you realize that you were free to go from this thing. You realize like, yes, there's something in the cups, but I can have more. I can have something better. I can have something different. else are my group number ones doing right? We have the Four of Swords in reverse. This feels like no longer, there's some area of your life in which you are no longer taking a passive role and you're going to start making a real effort towards something. It's giving a feeling of actively moving towards what you want rather than waiting around for something to happen, or rather than waiting for permission. You are going to be who you want to be without waiting for the world around you to give you permission. For some of you, this might mean starting to identify as who you want to be. I am a this, I am a that. Okay, kind of like a very silly and simple example. Well, maybe it's not silly, but I just changed my Instagram bio to include DJ in it. So I'm just identifying as such now. So you may be kind of adding something to your title, say, rather than saying like, oh, I write sometimes, being like, I am a writer, I am an author, identifying with it. I am this, I am an artist, I am a creative, I am a healer, I am a professional, There's an I am that you are giving yourself permission to say rather than waiting for the world to give it to you, or rather than waiting for that external validation. Disclaimer, don't identify as something you need a license for if you don't have it, but I think you know what I mean. You're giving yourself permission to be the thing. To be like, that's in my soul, that's in my identity, that's in my DNA. This is who I am. And that could have to do with your career or like an archetype that your soul resonates with, or something creative as well. But yeah, allowing yourself to be that is definitely something that you are doing right. At the bottom of the deck, something you're overthinking about is the Six of Coins. So you may have a little bit of a biased way of thinking where you feel like you don't give enough to other people, or you don't help other people enough, or you don't take on enough responsibility. This is very much like, I'm not doing enough, but it feels like specifically when it comes to helping and serving others, you may tend to minimize how much you give to other people, how much of a positive impact your guidance and assistance and just giving others your energy has, and then also feel like you are receiving too much. And I feel kind of like a guilt associated with this. Like, I didn't do enough to help them, or I couldn't help them. So maybe there's a bit of taking on a burden to help someone that is not your obligation. Helping others is a beautiful thing, and I highly encourage you to do so. But it seems like there's a sense of guilt or pressure or obligation where there doesn't need to be, or a sense of like minimizing what you've given to others. Yeah, and like how much you've helped others. The Six of Coins could also be overthinking when it comes to like input versus output, or having something be completely even on both sides. This is just one example coming to my mind, but people who pay for each other, or people who treat each other, being like, well, I paid $33.71 this week, and then you paid $34.02 next week, so I owe you this many cents. Or like counting, well, this person texted me 3 times and then I texted them back 4 times, so I texted too much. Like, there may be a bit of overthinking about what is given on this side versus what is given on that side, when in reality it is going to even out over time. Like there's no need to count something one by one. That's also coming through as well, and that could be interpreted in many different ways. Like, I don't know, this post got 1,000 likes, but this post got 1,200 likes, so this one is better. Like, yeah, like comparing, counting something very like down to the last thing, or making sure something is completely even on both sides. Or, okay, this is a good example for myself as a tarot reader. If I'm like, well, I did 2 love readings this month, so I have to do 2 career readings this month as well. Or, you know, I think you get the picture. There's this feeling of it's all going to even out. It's all going to balance out over time. You don't need to keep track of something so minutely, because I feel like it's just going to stress you out. And you don't have to do it perfectly. And there's also a feeling that other people aren't thinking the same way as you. So it's kind of like you're being hard on yourself by yourself, and the people around you wouldn't expect you to be so machine-like and so exactly on track with everything. Like, it's okay if there's some imperfections. It's okay if things don't add up exactly right. If you were supposed to make a 30-minute presentation and it's 29 minutes and 53 seconds, like, that's very fine, probably. Yeah, I think you guys get the picture. By the way, I just want to give a shout out to the creator of this deck, because I have to say, I think this is one of my favorite decks I've ever gotten. It came in this box, and a weird thing to say, but it smells really nice. And the artwork is just so beautiful. So thank you so much, Federico. I will have this link down below if you guys like it. Yeah, it's really become one of my favorites in a short time. So let's get into some oracle decks to see if you stay in your current energy, where will it lead you? What will manifest? Oh, we have 2 coming out from this deck. I'm just going to take these ones upright, the oracle cards. We have the throat chakra and we have dreams. Messages, signs, symbols, guidance. These 2 together, it's very much speaking your dreams into existence. So you are entering into an era. This sounds kind of dramatic, but I wanted to say anything you speak, or even anything you write down, but mostly speaking, is going to be supercharged for manifesting potential. When you are speaking of your hopes and dreams, you are speaking them into existence. There could be a piece of advice here to think about the power that your voice has, like the sound of your voice, the vibrations of your voice. You could be called to pursue something that involves you speaking or singing or vocalizing in some way, or using sound in some way, like healing or art through sound. I'm also thinking about ultrasound for some reason now, and supersonic something. Anyway, I think there's something about the voice or vocalization that is significant to this group, because I also feel like I spent a long time lingering on talking about your spirit guide's voice. Maybe some of my group number 1s have clairaudience, or getting signs through what you hear, or a guide speaking to you in a dream. Maybe you wake up from a dream and you're like, I don't remember what happened. I just remember hearing someone say XYZ. You could overhear something that is a really significant message for you. Some of you may be called to do voice training or take care of your throat or take care of your voice. Thinking about the power of your voice could also have to do with thinking about the power of your words. So maybe there's a message that you are ready to share, an opinion of yours or a worldview you're ready to share that could benefit a lot of people, that could open their eyes, that could make them think. Maybe there's a cause that you are ready to speak about. But I think if you stay in this current energy, you're going to become more confident in the weight of your words and the power of your voice. And you're literally going to start speaking things into existence. I also feel you becoming someone who is not afraid to ask for what you want. Because the worst that could happen is someone says no, and that's really not that scary to you anymore. What's more scary is if you just keep your mouth shut and never speak up for what you want. That's actually the scarier thing than someone rejecting you or someone saying no to you. It's almost like if you speak up for what you want, either way, you're going to be happy, because what makes you happy is actually speaking up for yourself, advocating for yourself, knowing that you went out there and tried to get what you want. That's actually the thing that makes you happy, because it shows that you're committed to yourself, and it's like an act of love to yourself and an act of saying to yourself, hey, your dreams deserve a chance to be manifested. And the fact that you say that to yourself and treat yourself that way, I think that's the thing that makes you the most happy, not how anyone else responds to you, if that makes sense. Of course, if you get a positive response, that's awesome. But I just looked up and saw 2525. So if you are watching this in 2025, there's probably a significant blessing coming to you by the end of the year. I also noticed like 29 to 39, that could be like an age window that is really important for you, which is basically your 30s. Shout out to the 30s club. And could also be dates like between February 9th and March 9th. September 2nd, September 3rd. What will manifest for you if you remain in your current energy? Chantal? That's interesting because I'm thinking of like chanter, like sing. Something about your voice or vocalizing that is important. I guess chant is an English word too. Chanting. New romance is imminent, either with a newcomer or through reignited passion in your existing relationship. Be open to giving and receiving love. Some of you could have a blossoming or renewed romance with a person you've dreamed about, or this person could be reaching out to you, especially through a phone call or a voice message, something where you can actually hear their voice. Of course, feel free to interpret this as a love being reignited, like that is not a person. Could just be a passion of yours that is reigniting. What messages and advice do your guides have for you? The psychic. Okay, intuition and inner knowing. This is card number 10. Keywords: intuition, inner knowing, sight beyond. You already know. Trust that. That nudge in your gut, that dream that felt too real, you're not imagining things. You're remembering what you already know. This card affirms your inner sight. You've been seeing patterns, synchronicities, and signs that whisper truths the mind can't decode. Don't dismiss them. Your intuition is your birthright, and it's guiding you toward alignment. Your inner knowing doesn't need to be loud to be real. It might come as a whisper in the quiet, a chill across your skin, or a thought that repeats until you listen. Trust that these messages are not random. They are your soul speaking in its native language. The more you honor them, the stronger they become. You don't need permission to believe in yourself. You are the oracle now. Not waiting for the world's permission to believe in what you know to be true inside of you. The journal prompt, or just a question to reflect on, is when was the last time I knew without proof? Literally yesterday, I was filming a personal reading. I've just been doing one personal reading giveaway per month as a fundraiser, but I was shuffling the deck and I saw the number 23 in my mind's eye, and I was like, should I say it? Like, no, that's too random to be like, I'm seeing the number 23. But then I shuffled the oracle deck, and what card came out? The oracle card number 23 came out. And I'm like, this is a lesson you will learn over and over and over again as a tarot reader. Like, just say the thing. Just say the thing. Group number 1, just say the thing that you are thinking. Because what's going to happen if I say, I'm seeing the number 23, and then card number 29 comes out? Am I going to die? No. No, nothing is going to happen. Nothing happening is not scary. It's okay. It's okay if you speak up and nothing happens. But you got to keep speaking up, because one of these days something is going to happen. That's the piece of advice from your guides. Keep speaking up about what you want, because one of these days someone's going to answer, and someone's going to help you, and someone's going to give it to you. Okay, let's get one last card for you. We have number 33, Nourish the Shadow. I'm going to read this one from the guidebook too. This is the Jaguar. Jaguar represents the shadow, the subconscious aspects of ourselves we push away. Carl Jung says these aspects usually stem from situations we encountered as children that lead us to feel shame, unworthiness, and abandonment. We then live out these programmed beliefs as adults. Jaguar comes to speak to us about nourishing our shadow. In this image, we see her drinking from the well of wholeness. The well in this image, inspired by Jungian analyst Marianne Woodman, is our place of nourishment and absolute wholeness. Water is where all life comes from. Without it, we have no vitality. Many of us ignore and starve our shadow aspects because they cause us so much pain. We push them away and deeply criticize them. We chain our jaguar shadow and confine her to the furthest part of the backyard of our minds. She howls and cries for nourishment, yet we still ignore her. In her banishment, because of the lack of love, her power grows as the master of self-sabotage. Ironically, if you would begin a relationship with her, you'd find that she is your greatest asset and leads to fulfilling your life's purpose. Funny that we instinctively banish her. Jaguar's medicine asks you to create a self-talk relationship with yourself and to ride the wave of hurt within. Every time a painful feeling arises, you now must tell yourself, I'm right here to feel this with you. I accept this uncomfortable feeling and I will ride it out with you. I'm here to feel this with you. If you do this, the emotion will always detox out and dissipate, leading to a much quicker healing. But you must be strong and endure the pain. Commit to riding the waves of emotion together within yourself. This is the nourishment your jaguar shadow requests. If you witness her, she will start showing you a new and indestructible power within. Your shadow is where your diamond lives. Woo! As someone who has just gone through a healing journey that was pretty much exactly that, I have no notes. Every word, beautiful. Okay, the last thing I want to do is, okay, just roll a set of dice. This one was very eager. Oh my God. Okay, so this die was so excited to come out that it just snuck out of my hand before I even got a chance to roll it. And it is the number 2. The second house relates to your money. And literally, as I held this up, the camera timer was at 3333. The number of the Empress times 4. Abundance and prosperity. So some of you could have Venus in the second house, or you could be an Aries rising or a Virgo rising. And then you would have like Taurus or Libra in your second house. Or something like if you're watching the transits, if you're an astrology girly and you're watching the transits, Venus going through your second house could be particularly generous in terms of bringing money and financial blessings into your life. But yeah, that 2 die was so excited to come out. I think there is money that that really wants to find you, group number 1, or your guides are really excited to tell you that money is coming in, and probably very soon, because I didn't even get a chance to roll that and it was like, money! Okay, let's see what else we have. Jupiter. Yep, abundance confirmed. Jupiter in the second house. That's money coming in. That's your finances increasing. Yeah, let's keep going. Let's get our last die. We have Scorpio. Okay, we could have some Libra risings here as well. Jupiter in the second house in Scorpio. You could have money coming in through a partnership with someone else, or you could become wealthy like by association with someone else. So for example, marrying a wealthy person, and then you have like joint assets. You could be receiving a very generous gift. You could be making money through something that you did. I don't know. I'm feeling like a secret or silent vibe with this Scorpio energy. So, okay, for example, this could be the energy of you're working on something, but you haven't really told people yet because you're not sure if it's going to be successful. And now that it's successful, you can start telling people. So it's like money coming in from something that you were kind of keeping behind the scenes, maybe just telling very, very close people, or maybe you didn't tell people because you didn't want to jinx it, but now that you know it's successful and the money's coming in, you can start to like tell people and celebrate. Others of you might not want to tell people that you have these resources for various reasons, and that's your business, but it seems kind of low key for some reason. Like you're not really flaunting it, but it's there. The wealth is there. Okay, group number 1s, those are all the messages I have for you. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm going to have a link down below. My tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, the memberships where you can watch the extended readings that go up every month. You can also watch full-length exclusive readings there. And I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your higher self, everyone who appeared in this reading, their higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi number twos. So if you guys chose the fire agate, this is going to be your reading. Here is the breakdown of today's reading. We are going to start by seeing what you're doing right and what you should give yourself more credit for. We are also going to see something that you are overthinking about currently that you can let go of. We are going to see if you stay in your current energy, where will it lead you? What will manifest? And then finally, we'll get any messages or advice that your spirit guides have for you. So that's the reading that we're going to do today. Thank you so much for being here, and let's get into it. My group number twos, what are you doing right? What can you give yourself more credit for? We have justice in reverse. So this is making me think of addressing injustices or speaking up about injustices. You have maybe stopped, okay, I'm hearing you're no longer letting it slide. So when you or someone around you is going through unfair treatment, or when your boundaries are being crossed over, no longer do you just let it slide. Some of you have in the past done so in order to avoid confrontation, like to avoid the discomfort of confronting someone. Some of you have felt guilty, like, I don't want to make a big deal out of it. I don't want to make a scene. I don't want to seem like I'm too much. I don't want to seem like I'm high maintenance. I don't want to exacerbate the situation, so I'll just let it slide. It's like you almost feel you don't deserve to speak up, or if you speak up, then you're the problem. It's likely, no, not likely, it's possible that you've been made to feel this way by someone else. Like someone else made you feel if you speak up about the injustice or if you speak up about the violated boundary, then you are the problem. Because now you're speaking up, you're making it a thing, you're making it a problem. And so for some of you, this is like you're no longer going to let that narrative shame you. You're no longer going to let that silence you. Like, no, actually, I'm not the problem for speaking up. I have to speak up when something isn't right, when you're not respecting my boundaries, or when you're not respecting this person that I love, or when you're not respecting these people I care about. You're no longer letting it slide, and that is something that your spiritual team is very proud of you for. There's also something coming through about having more discernment with giving people the benefit of the doubt. You know, everybody slips up sometimes, and, you know, forgiving others is good and giving others a second chance is good when they have messed up. But I feel like some of you are breaking a pattern that you maybe previously had of giving people a second chance over and over and over again, or giving people the benefit of the doubt over and over and over again because you're afraid of confronting them, or maybe you're afraid of losing the connection. And so you find yourself making excuses for other people's behavior, or trying to justify it to yourself, like, oh, I'm sure they didn't mean it that way. Whereas now, maybe you're able to look at the situation more objectively and say, like, no, I don't deserve that treatment. No, that's just plain disrespectful. No, I deserve better. Like, I'm not going to put up with this anymore. And this has maybe changed how you show up in your relationships. For some of you, it's maybe even led to distancing yourself from someone or from certain people, or, like no longer being attracted to someone, or no longer being attracted to a certain type of person. Some of you have maybe even ended connections or relationships as a result of this. But I feel if this is your group, it's like you've had enough. You're not going to let things slide anymore that feel disrespectful. And you're not going to stay quiet just to keep the peace or just to keep the illusion of peace. So I feel like you are a lot more courageous and a lot more assertive when it comes to necessary confrontations. What else are my group number 2s doing right? We have the Hierophant, 2 major arcana, and oh my gosh, so that's so cool. This card is the number 5, and literally as it came out, the camera timer was at 555. So same number as the Hierophant, and 555 is an angel number that can talk about big change coming, or that indicates you are undergoing a big change. For some of you, this like switch that we've been talking about could be a complete 180 from how you used to be. So some of you maybe have really struggled with people pleasing in the past, you know, always giving the other person the benefit of the doubt, but not giving it to yourself, having a really hard time setting your boundaries or reinforcing them, having a really hard time speaking up for yourself. And now it's like a complete 180. If the past you could see you now, I feel like they would be so proud of you as well. And this is a big deal. And this is a change you've made that is going to last. It's going to make a lasting impact on your existing relationships and how you build relationships in the future. The Hierophant is making me think of a long-term commitment. So you could be more discerning with your relationships these days, where you're only looking for those people with whom you can see yourself in a long-term committed partnership, and those who are actually ready for that, who are ready to make that happen in a tangible way, and who are ready to put in the effort. And the Hierophant being ruled by Taurus, there's this feeling of, I'm gonna need to see some tangible proof. No longer are you holding on to just potential. No longer are you holding on to just someone's intentions, what they say they want to do. It needs to be backed up with actions. This is what you are. That's the standard that you're upholding for relationships. The Hierophant can also talk about education, formal institutions. So if any of you who chose this group have started a new academic journey, if you are going back to school, whether that is formal education or not, or maybe you have gotten a mentor, a counselor, advisor of some kind, you're taking it upon yourself to learn more and get more serious about a certain topic. That's also something your guides are proud of you for. Maybe you are the one who's taking on a teacher or mentor role. What else are my group 2s doing right? I'm hearing let them, which is like a philosophy where you stop. It's like whatever you do, whatever you think, that's not my business. That's not my problem. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to let you do what you're going to do. And I'm going to worry about my own self and my own boundaries. Maybe some of you, okay, it's like no longer are you gonna step in and save someone from their own BS. You're going to let them reap the consequences of their own mistakes, because that's the only way they can learn. That's the only way they can change. You're not gonna come in and save them. You're not gonna come in and fix the situation. Some of you are maybe moving on from a I can fix them kind of mentality. And it's like letting people make their own mistakes and letting people learn their own lessons or not learn the lessons. That's their journey. That's not mine. I'm also thinking of the expression, not my circus, not my monkeys. So that could be something that you are mastering right now too. Just very much like, that is not mine. That is not mine to deal with. And I'm not going to worry about it. And that is a lot easier said than done. So I think what your guides are really proud of you for is that you've recognized what is your responsibility and what is yours to work on and what is not. And I did a big gesture with my hand, like, no, that is not mine. So you're unloading a lot of crap that you had taken on that is not yours. That was never your responsibility. 1111, as I said that. Yeah, your guides are so proud of you. Major Arcana, this is huge. This 2 Major Arcana, this is maybe something that you've been working on for multiple lifetimes, which is common. Us souls, we work on lessons over many lifetimes. It can take hundreds of Earth years to learn a lesson. So this is a big deal. If you're getting comfortable with this, if you're mastering this lesson, I'm proud of you, group 2. This is awesome. And when you start to get the hang of this for a while, you could feel a little bit guilty. It's like the classic, you know, when you start to implement your boundaries, you feel like you're being selfish, but you will get accustomed to it and look back on your past one day and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was doing all of that for others and extending myself so much and giving others 1,000,000 miles and only giving myself an inch. Like, how did I live like that? I feel like there will come a time where you look back on your past like that. Even if it feels kind of uncomfortable or selfish now, it won't always feel that way. Wow, 3 out of 3. Oh my gosh. And bottom of the deck, all of your tarot cards are Major Arcana. 4 out of 4. That is crazy. That should not happen statistically. So yes, this is like a major lesson that you've been working on for multiple lifetimes, and you are reaching mastery of this. That ability to discern what is yours to worry about and what is not yours. Standing ovation for group number 2. Like, I feel so excited. Maybe I felt compelled to do that because your spirit guides are literally applauding and celebrating you. This feels like a big cycle that is coming to a close. I think your relationship with yourself and your relationship with others are going to become much more fulfilling from here on out. Manifestation is going to get easier as well. Decision making is going to get easier because when others' energy is not mixed in, it's much easier to discern what desire is coming from me and what desire is coming from a sense of pressure or a sense of expectation or a sense of obligation or indebtment to others or to society. Like, it's going to become so much easier to discern what desires and what sparks and what inspirations are coming from your soul, and then to be able to act towards them more decisively. You're like, I know that this is the right path because this is what my soul wants. And I know that this is what my soul wants because its frequency is audible to me and not muddled by these human worries and pressures and expectations. I probably said this like 8 times already, but I'm just so excited. Like, I feel myself getting more excited and more animated as I'm talking about this. This is awesome. And then we have judgment. I feel like your heart has been freed from these vines. I'm seeing like a heart in a cage, or maybe there's some wires around it. It's being kept contained. It's being kept small. Having a big heart in this world can be painful sometimes. I don't know how to best translate this message, but it's like you were maybe keeping your heart's energy small, sort of as a defense mechanism or as a way to protect yourself. Like, don't let it grow too big. If it grows too big, it can hold more. It can feel more, and that's maybe scary. It becomes a target when you have a big heart. I'm not sure what that means, but you feel safe to let your heart grow now. So of course, I'm not talking about your literal heart, but the energy surrounding your heart, or the light surrounding your heart, it's like you had it in a container, an energetic container, and you don't have to do that anymore. And you're letting the energy around your heart grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, take up more space and encompass more. It's like you've cleared something from many past lives, and you're no longer afraid to have a big heart, or you're no longer afraid to let the energy around your heart grow. And even, okay, I'm seeing, I have to like draw this. So this is you. You look like a gingerbread man. This is the light emanating from your heart. And it's like, it would grow so big that the energy of your heart starts to occupy the physical space of your head. I'm kind of seeing the light emanating out to around your ears. This is like weirdly specific. But you were afraid to do that. So you kept it kind of contained in some kind of energetic box or cage or wires or something. And this has been removed so it can emanate big again. It can reach your ears again. Maybe that's like you can hear your heart. I don't know. And I also noticed as I was drawing this, I didn't really think about it, but I drew an outward spiral that was going clockwise. So that could be significant. And there's 7 layers. There's 7 layers. Yeah, I don't know. Something about spirals or a clockwise motion, or the number 7, or 7 layers of something. Could be significant to someone. But okay, we're gonna get into some oracle decks now, but I just wanted to give a shout out to the creator of this tarot deck, because this has quickly become one of my favorite decks. The artwork is just so beautiful. And it came in this box. Like, are you kidding me? This is gorgeous. I really, really like this deck. So thank you, Federico, for sending this. I'm going to have it linked down below if you guys like it. But let's get into the oracle cards. The next thing we're gonna see is, if you stay in this current energy, where will that lead you, and what will manifest for you? We have choice, free will, courage, willpower, and change. Yeah, there's something here about decision making becoming a lot easier, because it's like you've known what you want, but you're no longer afraid of choosing yourself. You're no longer afraid of going against people's expectations. You're not afraid of subverting the expectations. And there's a message coming through like, you know who you are, okay? I'm seeing a situation, and maybe this is like a past energy, where you are one way, but then for some reason, people create this image of you that is quite different. Perfect example of this. Some people have an image of me that I'm like this goody two shoes, cutesy good girl, like cute anime girl, which I find hilarious. I think it, honestly, if you watch my older videos, I had a baby voice thing going on, and maybe that contributed to it. I don't know why I talked like that, but yeah, it probably just has to do with how I come across online. But my best friends and I think it's really funny. So there may be something like that with you, where it's like, why do people have this image of me that I'm this way? You know, like, this is you, you're like this square, and then people see you as a hexagon for some reason. And you're like, I don't know where this came from. But then over time, you actually start to feel pressure to behave more like a hexagon, because that's how people see you. And that's what people expect of you. And maybe you receive some kind of positive reassurance for that. And so when you come to these crossroads, your decision making is kind of tainted because you feel pressure to make a choice like a hexagon. What would a hexagon do? But you're not a hexagon. That's like the persona you took on because it's what came to be expected of you. So you're remembering who you are. Like, I was never a hexagon. People just decided that for me. Like, you're taking off the costume that people just decided for you because that's who they assumed you are. And then you felt pressure to be that to meet their expectation. You're stripping other people's narratives off of you so that when you get to these forks in the road, you're like, well, I'm a square and I'm going to choose like a square. By the way, I just realized that was a bad shape to choose, because I think calling someone a square means like they're boring. And I didn't mean it that way. That was just the first shape that came to my mind. You're like, I'm gonna choose like me, and I know what that is. I know what I would do because I am me. And other people's narratives are not affecting me anymore. And I'm no longer afraid to make a choice that surprises someone or that shocks someone or that confuses someone. Let them be confused with my life choices. Let them be surprised. Let them be disappointed. Love that for you. Like, isn't it beautiful that you can feel however you want to feel about my choices, and yet I can keep making them. Love that. Love free will. That's you. And this is a solar plexus card. Like, ooh, I love when a solar plexus is healthy. It's like, I feel so free to be me and take up space in this world and not be ashamed of it. And 17, the number of the star. So if you keep in this current energy, your future is going to be bright. And your future is going to exceed your wildest dreams. Let's get another deck. What is going to manifest for you if you keep this current energy? Azure, your desired outcome will occur in the very near future. Have patience and faith, and don't try to force it to happen. That could not be a clearer message when we're asking what is going to happen. If you keep up this current energy, your desired outcome will occur in the very near future. Period. Tu velo, period. Okay. If that's going to be really confusing for people who don't know the meme I'm referencing. But anyway, let's see what messages and advice your spirit guides have for you at this time. You're home. Alignment is near. Oh, that's beautiful. March 17th or July 13th could be a significant date for someone. The keywords of this card are alignment, safety, belonging. Home isn't where you land. It's, oh my gosh, I love that. Home isn't where you land. It's where your soul stops running. This card is a soul whisper. You're almost there. The foundation you've been quietly building through chaos, change, and courage is finally starting to settle beneath your feet. Your choices have been slowly aligning with your values. And even in the world around you, even if the world around you still feels uncertain, something in you knows this next version of life might finally feel like you. Holy shit. That's like exactly what we were talking about. Your home isn't always about a place. It's a feeling. It can show up in people who see you clearly, in a moment of peace, between two breaths, or in the deep exhale that follows years of holding it all together. This card reminds you that you don't have to search forever. What you've been looking for might already be with you or within you, asking to be noticed. And then there's also a journal prompt or a question to reflect on. What does home feel like in my body? And where in my life am I ignoring that feeling? Okay. We're gonna get one more oracle card. Which came out very quickly. And it's you are what you think. What did I mention before? March 17th, March 20th. Those dates seem to be significant. Like, I don't know, the last few days of Pisces season, perhaps. Especially like if you live in a country where the school year starts in April, or the new year kind of starts in April, like Japan, for example, that could especially be significant. Or like the days leading up to the spring equinox could be significant for you. 2017 maybe was an important year for someone as well. You are what you think. I don't know if I read that, but you are what you think. Number 20. Flamingo. Flamingo is not born pink. She takes on her color. I feel like this is what we're talking about again. She takes on her color because of the pink krill she eats in a clear depiction of you are what you eat. She appears in your reading now to say you are what you think. The medicine of this card requires a profound amount of discipline toward the way you think. The true importance of our thoughts is demonstrated by quantum physics, which reveals that what we feel and think greatly affects our reality. Our thoughts create a wave of energy that is then mirrored back to us in material form with a delayed response. This means that you do not instantly get what you think, but if you feel and believe something for long enough, you will see that belief mirrored back at you at a future point in time. Flamingo asks, what inner narrative are you nourishing? Does the image in your mind produce an outcome of fulfillment or defeat? Flamingo's medicine suggests scripting for altering the transforming. Why can't I read today? Sorry. Flamingo's Medicine suggests scripting for altering and transforming your inner beliefs. Scripting is the process of rewriting your story to program your subconscious with a new, more profound understanding of your existence. You will need to acquire a journal and dedicate at least 5 to 10 minutes every night to write out your new reality. Scripting before bed sets up your subconscious to have these ideas implanted while sleeping. Scripting is easy and fun. It's writing out the reality you intend to happen as if it already has happened. For example, one may state, "I'm so excited I created my own business and it happened so easily. I'm connecting with people on such deep levels. I'm so grateful I found the person of my dreams," etc., etc. Scripting is intentional brainwashing, and after about a month of scripting every night, you will see your world totally shift into your new story. I would also add something that I do that was quite helpful and effective for manifesting is I just put my gratitude journal and manifesting journal all in one. So when I'm making a list of things I'm grateful for, it's all jumbled together, like things that have already happened and things that already are in my 3D reality and things that have yet to happen. I write them all in the same lists, in the same journal, to sort of train myself to not see a distinction between the two, like it's all happening now. And that was really, really helpful for me. So I would share that little tidbit with you, group number 2. So finally, we are going to roll a set of dice. Anything else your guides want to say? Any messages, any advice? We have Saturn. We have Taurus. Shout out to my Saturn in Taurus in the birth chart baddies. And I'm gonna check, I believe it's 2028, but I'm just gonna double check when Saturn first enters the sign of Taurus. Yes, it is in the year 2028, more specifically April. So that could be a significant time for you, or just the year of 2028 in general. Saturn in Taurus, I want to say delayed blessings, but delayed implies that they should have happened sooner. Maybe it's a blessing coming in that your ego felt this should have happened by now. Where is my this? Where is my that? I should have made this happen by now. It feels like something is happening for you later in life, but you're actually going to be grateful for that. You will realize that you received this blessing at the perfect level of maturity. So there's a blessing that's coming to you a bit later, but it's because of a certain level of maturity or a certain level of life experience that would allow you to best receive this blessing and to best maintain it and to best appreciate it and really, really take care of it. We also have the 8th house. And I want to mention this die almost rolled off the edge of the table, but then it stopped like barely at the edge. Some of you could be just barely making something by the deadline, or something is reaching you just in time. I can't even think of an example right now, but it's like something reaching you at the last minute, and then you're able to move forward. Okay, easy example of this. There's a job application. The application period ends on the 30th, but you need a letter from your reference, and they mailed it to you, and it's not arriving. It arrives on the 29th. You literally had one more day and it came just in time. So something might be happening later, but it's not too late. It is right on time. And for those of you, my group number 2s, who are worried about whether or not you're gonna get something in time, whether or not something's gonna be completed in time, it is. It's like just in the nick of time. That's the feeling that I'm getting. And is there anything else I wanna say? Because that wasn't really an interpretation of the 8th house. That was just an interpretation of the die almost falling off the edge. But yeah, there could be, well, actually, it makes sense now going back to the start of your reading. We were talking about relationships. I feel like some of your best and most fulfilling relationships are coming later in your life, and the most long-lasting ones. And also, okay, there's something here about realizing that relationships is not about how long you've known someone, it's about the quality of the relationship. So you could meet someone, you could have someone you've met a year ago, and they know you better and you feel closer to them than someone you've known for 10 years. Because it's not about the time, it's not about how long you've known each other. So maybe you're about to meet someone or get closer with someone, and it all happens really, really fast. Like the bond that you are building, the intimacy that you are creating. There's this feeling of your perception of who your best friends are is shifting, or who you can trust the most is shifting, rather than like, oh, well, we've known each other forever. Like, yeah, that's my best friend. We've known each other forever. It's like, oh, why is this person I just met recently treating me better and being more trustworthy towards me and open, like making more effort and building more intimacy with me? Because it's not about the time. Maybe there were people in your life who started to take your relationship for granted because it's like, oh, well, we've known each other for so long. I've known group number 2 for so long. We've been friends for so long. We've been, I don't know, dating, married for so long. Of course, they're always going to be there for me. Like just kind of assuming and thinking that the length of time we've spent together is enough to solidify our bond, rather than acknowledging the need for consistent efforts and being willing to change together and evolve together and bend and adapt together. Yeah, I'm seeing this like comparison. Meanwhile, this person over here, meanwhile, these people over here, who I haven't known as long, are more committed, are resonating with me on a deeper level. I would say by the year 2028, the people who are still in your life by around that time are, it's safe to say they're your forever people, or they're here to stay. That's what I'm feeling. For some of you, there could be, this is really not going to be everyone, like just a small percentage of you, but you could have Saturn in the 8th house in your birth chart, or it's going to be passing through your 8th house soon. You could be a Libra rising or have Taurus in the 8th house. Yeah, but I think those are all the messages. So thank you very much, group number 2, for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you'd like to find me elsewhere, I'm gonna have a link down below my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my memberships where you can watch the extended readings that we have going up every month. You can also watch exclusive full-length pick a card readings. And I will link my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really, really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your higher self, anyone who appeared in this reading, their higher self, your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on Earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye! Hi number threes. So if you guys chose the moss agate, this is going to be a reading. I just wanted to mention that when I was filming the intro and I was holding up your crystal, the camera timer went to 222. So that could be a significant number for you. If you have been seeing that number frequently, maybe that's a sign that this is your group. But let's take a look at our breakdown for today's reading. We are going to start by seeing what you are doing right and what you should give yourself credit for. We are also going to see what you have been overthinking that you can now let go of. We're going to see if you stay in your current energy, where will it lead you? What will manifest from it? And then we are going to finish off with any messages or advice that your spirit guides want to give you. So that's going to be our reading today. Thank you so much for being here, and let's get into it. For some reason, the word catalog also just popped up into my mind, so that could be a sign or a significant word for someone watching. Okay. What are my group number threes doing right? We have the 10 of Swords in reverse. I was just about to say we are taking reversals today. This feels like giving yourself time. Okay. Giving yourself time to recover, taking a break. Okay, this could quite literally be rest. Like if you have been resting recently, your guides are very proud of you. If you have made the decision to take a break from something, to step back from something for a while, I'm also hearing the word detox, so that could be relevant for some of you. Your guides are proud of you for that. They're saying that's the right thing to do. Making the decision that you are no longer going to engage in something. That was also the right thing to do. There's a sort of feeling for some of you of giving yourself time away from something so that you can gain more inspiration or gain a spark back. So it's like maybe you were overstimulated or oversaturated with something that it started to feel boring, mundane, repetitive, like it lost its spark. So you took some time away from it to recharge the spark, if that makes sense. I don't know. It was kind of hard to ground that message, but I'm going to trust that if it's for you, you understand what I'm saying. There's a feeling here of not forcing yourself. So, for example, let's say you had a schedule to exercise every day, but one day you felt particularly tired. It feels like you saying, well, I'm not going to force myself just for the sake of staying consistent. So I'm going to let myself take a rest today. Maybe I'm going to take the rest of the week off from this exercise plan because that's what I feel I need. Another example of this energy is like a content creator who posts every day, but they're like, you know what, today I actually don't feel like I have anything to talk about. I don't have any ideas. I'm not inspired. So I'm not going to force myself to put something out just because that's my schedule. So it's like taking a break from something that feels aligned. Like it doesn't feel right to force myself to do this. It doesn't feel right to push myself. Let me take some time away. Let me restore my energy. Let me recharge. That's the feeling that I get from this 10 of Swords in reverse. Some of you maybe extended something or pushed a date back. So like maybe you took a week off and then at the end of that week you were like, no, I need more time. I'm going to take 2 weeks off. You're listening to yourself and giving yourself the rest and giving yourself some kind of peace and quiet that you really needed, or giving yourself time away from something that you really needed. And your guides are really proud of you for honoring that. because you could have just as easily like forced yourself to push through. And there was maybe even people giving you advice to do that. And you're like, no, I need to step back. I need to like not engage. I need to just take some time away. And for some of you, this is really significant because this is the first time that you're able to do this and not feel guilty. Like you're unapologetically listening to yourself or unapologetically giving yourself the break you need. And that's awesome. What else are my group number 3s doing right? You're getting a lot better at not sweating the small things. You're getting a lot better at not letting minor bumps in the road or inconveniences get to you. Some of you could be really getting the hang of like maintaining faith and maintaining optimism when you are manifesting or working towards a goal or just in general on your journey. There's also a message about being more discerning with information sources or being more discerning about the education you receive or being more discerning about the popular ideas that are taught and kind of refusing to let people tell you how to think and feeling more comfortable with saying like, no, I don't think that's going to work for me. Like I know myself and I feel like that's not going to work for me. So maybe you're able to like read advice or watch a reading or get tips from someone and have more of that filter of like taking what resonates and leaving the rest behind and not letting the rest linger. Just like, no, I know that's not for me. Group 2 kind of had a similar message. It was about something else, but sort of around that theme of knowing what to let go of and knowing what's not for you. That was coming up in group 2 as well. So if you did happen to feel kind of drawn to group number 2, there may be a message for you there as well. Your next cards are the 10 of Cups in reverse and the 6 of Coins in reverse. Okay, I feel like it's going to take some time for me to ground this, but energetically, this feels like an energy where your happiness is always just kind of out of reach, or it's like you have your reality here, but you can't fully be present in it because there's some fantasy over here that you can't stop thinking about, but it's just a fantasy. It's like not wanting the reality of it, you want the fantasy. Maybe some of you have released a fantasy recently or released the idea of a picture perfect life, released the standards that were impossible to uphold. Maybe there was someone or society in general that was selling you a fantasy, or a certain community's narrative that was selling you a fantasy. And I mean, look, there is nothing wrong with fantasizing and there is nothing wrong with having dreams. But this is giving the feeling of the fantasy makes you feel like something is wrong with your current life and your current reality. And there is some kind of selling it element to it. I guess an analogy for this energy would be like, you know, seeing images of a highly edited person and being like, oh my God, this person is so beautiful. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with wanting to look good. There's nothing wrong with aspiring to look a certain way. But when it reaches the point where you feel like there's something wrong with your very normal body and that it's not good enough as it is, and that you have to change it because it's wrong and bad, that's obviously where it becomes a problem. And there's something about like your reality is very normal and good and acceptable and healthy, but having this fantasy over here made you feel like it was not good enough. And I don't know why, but it feels like someone was selling you that fantasy. And this happens in the spiritual community sometimes, like selling the fantasy of having the perfect, immaculate, high vibration that you're able to manifest anything overnight, or the perfect, high level, divine relationship that is better than every other relationship ever. And you can have it if you just work on yourself enough. Like, we do sell fantasies, if it's one thing we do as people. And I think there's some fantasy that you've given up, not because you became pessimistic and gave up on a dream, but because you said, hey, this idea is preventing me from enjoying my life now, which is perfectly good and wonderful and full of blessings, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's you deciding that something is unrealistic, but from a place of empowerment. Not from a place of, oh, I guess my dream was unrealistic after all. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like, ugh, like I don't want that. That's not real. I don't want that because that's not real. I want my real life. Ugh, I love this energy. And I feel a rock. What does that mean? I guess it feels like root chakra. It feels grounded. It feels real. It feels sustainable. It feels tangible. I want to live my real life. Oh no. Did my bracelet just break? Uh-oh. Well, anyway, I'll fix it. What else are my group number 3s doing right? We have the 9 of Cups in the upright, which is literally optimism and being satisfied and being content with what you have, which is like exactly what we were talking about. So maybe sometimes you could feel confused or apprehensive in this new energy. Even I felt called to make the distinction of like, this is not you like being a quitter. This is not you giving up on a dream. This is not you becoming pessimistic. Like, it doesn't feel like that at all. It feels like reclaiming the happiness that you deserve to have right now and the pride in what you've accomplished that you deserve to feel right now, and the gratitude for what you already have right now, and saying there is nothing wrong with who I am right now. It doesn't need to be changed. It doesn't need to be fixed. I don't need to raise my vibration more. Like, I'm perfect as I am. I'm happy as I am. It's coming from this place of empowerment. And there may be some times where, because it's like there's some part of the ego that's like, no, we want more. We have to do more. We have to achieve more. And I don't know why the ego talks like that. And so maybe sometimes you have those doubts creep in, like, am I settling? Like, should I be striving for more? And honestly, if a day comes where you want to strive for more and it feels good to do that, then you should. Because I feel like the problem is not with the striving. The problem is not with the wanting more for yourself, but I think it was with where that desire was coming from. And it seems like in the past, it came from like giving all of your power to a fantasy outside of your reach, and then like using that as a reason to not be happy with your current life. And I feel like that's what you are not doing anymore. At the bottom of the deck, we have the 10 of Wands, simply because you're tired. And 15:15 on the camera timer as I'm saying that, which is the number of the devil. Like that way of striving seems like it was making you feel not good enough, as opposed to like a pursuing that feels exciting, a journey that makes you feel better about yourself as you go along. Speaking of this, like taking a break from something, some of you are maybe even taking a break from readings or like cutting back on readings. Even myself, like, you know, seeing like 10 videos a day pop up being like, this finds you when it's all about to change. Like, it does get kind of overstimulating sometimes, okay? And I'm saying that as a tarot reader. Like, sometimes it's just too much, and sometimes you don't want to invest all your energy in anticipating that better future or anticipating that magical manifestation that's around the corner. Sometimes you just want to be here now, and sometimes you just want to vibe and be okay with how things are. And this seems like where you're at right now, and I feel like your guides are really, really happy with this decision. Honestly, it feels like a huge relief to be like, there's nothing to fix right now. Like, we can just be here. We can just vibe here. Yeah, so we're gonna get into some oracle decks now, but I just want to give a shout out and a huge thank you to the creator of this deck, Federico, who was so kind to send it to me. I love the artwork on this deck so much, like the more classic art style. It's perfectly autumnal for this setup that we have right now, and it even comes in this beautiful box that has like, I don't know what you call this, soft red velvety material on the inside, and the inside of the box smells really nice. Like, it smells like books, it smells like library. It feels very like classically beautiful, and the cards are amazing quality, and it's one of my favorites that I've ever received. So thank you, and I will have a link down below if you guys like it. But let's get into your oracle cards. Okay, we have communication that flipped over, but it didn't come out. Is there like something on the tip of your tongue, something you've been meaning to say, or someone's been meaning to say something to you? We have communication and presence. Awareness, attention, reality, connection. Okay, this is a spirit guide or your higher self who's been wanting to communicate something to you, but they've been holding back because they were waiting for you to be fully present. Okay, this is kind of funny, but the analogy that I'm seeing is, you know when a teacher is trying to say something, but the kids in the class are talking, and so then the teacher just like stands there quietly, like, just waiting for you guys to pipe down so I can say what I'm gonna say. And they're just like standing at the front of the class and waiting for people to notice. That's the vibe that this guide is giving. Or your higher self. They're like, I'm waiting. I have something to tell you, but I'm waiting for your full attention. And I feel like what they're waiting for is for you to be grounded in your present moment, which is what it looks like you're doing now. So your higher self is about to start talking to you a lot more. And yeah, I think you're gonna stop looking outside of yourself. Maybe maybe this is the last time I'm going to see you for a while, group 3, because I feel there's something about you like not needing this external guidance anymore, or just not feeling called to it as often. And it's like the irony is when you stop looking so much for messages or stop looking to check on the future so much and just be here with yourself right now, that's when all the answers come to you. Like, it's like, yeah, I think this is your higher self. It's like they're saying, okay, do I have your attention now? Now that I have your attention, I have some things to say. So yeah, the relationship with your higher self is definitely strengthening. Even, you know, the chakras that these are associated with, because this is a chakra deck, it's the throat and the crown. Very much giving downloads from your higher self, communications, messages from your higher self. What else will happen when you stay in this energy? We have Layla. Spend time alone in nature, meditating about your desires and intentions. Ask the angels to help you gain a positive perspective. So if you keep going in your current energy, it's quite likely that you will start to crave more time in solitude and more time in silence. This is just one easy example. Something I've noticed recently for myself is I used to need to be like listening to something when I'm doing anything, like washing the dishes, folding laundry, stretching, eating breakfast, like whatever I'm doing, I have to be listening to a podcast or listening to a video or something. And these days I just like don't want to do that. So I'm either listening to, you know, like ambient meditative music or nothing. And it's so nice. I feel like you're gonna need less stimulation or even want. You don't want stimulation. You don't want distraction. I'm thinking of that meme, like not a phone in sight, just people living in the moment or whatever. That's gonna be you, completely present. You seem like you're gonna be, or you already are, really comfortable just to be alone in your own company, to be alone with your own thoughts. I bet you're gonna have a lot of creative ideas coming to you. There's a lot less input coming into you from the outside and a lot more coming out from inside you. A lot more ideas coming up, a lot more messages coming up from your own higher self. A lot more communication and communing with your inner world. You could also, as this card says, be spending more time in nature, spending more time outside, perhaps even finding that you can connect with your higher self or connect with your angels through nature, through observing the natural world, through marveling at the natural world. What do your guides want to tell you? Woo! Oh my gosh, a lot. Let's take these because these are the ones that came out upright, but I want to count how many this is. 11, okay? Number 11 could be significant. We have, oh, interesting. So here we have 34, and then we have 44, and we have 33. So like 3, 3, 4, 4, and then 3, 4. Okay, love leopard, romance, passion, and Soluna, light and shadows. I think I want to read this one from the guidebook. I'm feeling drawn to that one. Light and shadows. Soluna. There could be something significant about a word or a name that is like a combination of two different words. Because Soluna, it's like Sol and Luna put together. Like some kind of hybrid word. Maybe like your, I don't know, like a brand name or an artist name, or you're naming something that's like a combination of two words. Okay, so the keywords are light, shadows, and distant love. Even apart, we rise and set for each other. Ooh, so that's kind of giving long distance relationship for some of you. Or you could have a love, someone you love, or a soulmate who's like on the other side of the world, you know? Heart is so jet lagged. Yeah, like when it's your morning, it's their nighttime. Let's read the message. So Luna speaks to the kind of love or connection that feels just out of reach. Two souls orbiting the same sky, yet never able to fully meet. The sun and moon are best friends, tethered by gravity but separated by time. This card invites you to sit with the ache of polarity. Joy and grief, presence and absence, hope and longing. Sometimes what you love most exists in divergence. What you feel in the dark is shaped by what you've seen in the light. This energy may reflect a romantic or platonic relationship where timing, distance, or circumstance keeps you apart, or an inner dance between your own radiance and melancholy. Oh man. Honor both. Even if they can't coexist at once, they complete each other in meaning. Where in my life do love and loss feel intertwined? That's the journal prompt, or it can be a question for reflection. Some of you could be having a union or a reunion with someone you've missed, especially someone who is physically far away from you. Or more metaphorically, this could also be someone who it's like you seem to always like just miss each other. I don't know, when you're finally in town, they're out of town on that exact date. Or you like someone, but they were in a relationship with someone else, but then they get out of that relationship and now you're in a relationship with someone else. It's like we always miss each other. You could be having a union or a reunion with that type of connection. I also feel like there could be some kind of pendulum swing that is ending and you're finding yourself finally resting in the middle ground. So for example, you could have fluctuated a lot in your feelings towards a goal where you're either like super hopeful and excited or completely hopeless about it. Or you're either totally attached and clinging on really, really tight, or, oh, I don't want anything to do with it, I'm done. And you're kind of oscillating between those two energies. But now you've found this middle ground where it's like you can be hopeful but detached at the same time. Or you can be optimistic but have healthy skepticism at the same time, rather than like oscillating between those extremes. So you are finding some kind of balance and peace in your inner mental state. And yeah, there's a lot more mental and emotional stability coming for you. Yes, there is one more deck I want to use. You have quite a few extra cards, like 2 coming at the same time. That's happened 3 times. One last card for my group number 3s, no expectations. Oh my gosh, so now we have number 22, 33, and 44 appearing in your reading. Those could be significant ages. Like if you're watching this right now and you are like 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, like a repeating number, or maybe you are going to be that age soon, that could be, an auspicious age for you. Okay, so we have number 22, no expectations, Black Panther. Black Panther represents walking into the dark and exploring the feminine power of allowing development to come from the unknown. Walking into the unknown with no expectations is the key that will open the door to your success. The no expectations medicine of this card strongly advises you not to limit yourself with ideas about how anything will unfold. Life is planning something more delicious, okay, than you can currently understand. Something profound is on the horizon for you. Trust life without needing to be the dictator of how and when your manifestation will blossom into fruition. Intense expectations will only inhibit the ability of what is more extraordinary to develop. Take the risk for what you desire without the desperate need to control how it will unfold. A situation you perceive as a failure today may be what leads you to unfathomable success in 3 years. This is why an expectation of how you think things should work is futile. Understand that whatever occurs in your life is meant for your growth. Our misguided steps and our mistakes are our greatest teachers. Taking risks allows divine opportunities to present themselves. Take note if you are met with continuous resistance and rigid expectation. This is a universal sign that another direction is more beneficial, so take a step back and allow the path of least resistance to be revealed. This is not to say you should give up immediately, but it does warn that you may be unaligned with the flow. It may also be a signal that you just need to wait a bit longer. Black Panther is the queen of facing fears and taking risks to achieve her heart's desires. If you are questioning whether to go forward with an idea that feels totally uncertain, Black Panther's medicine asks you to go for it. Do not seek immediate gratification. Remember, the result may take time to unravel, but taking the risk to do what is best for you will always yield positive results. As I was reading that message, I was getting the image of you making efforts now that will benefit future generations. So that could be your children, your grandchildren. Like maybe you're putting in efforts now that you might not see the results of in your lifetime, but your children will. And you'll be glad that you did it for that reason. Or if you don't have children, if you feel that's not part of your journey, like the future generations on Earth would benefit from your efforts. Okay, so you are contributing to a greater cause on Earth, or there's people who will benefit from your legacy, who will benefit from your success. That was just an extra little tidbit that came up as I was reading that passage. I kind of wanted to put an asterisk. Where was it? Intense expectations will only inhibit the ability of what is more extraordinary to develop. I don't necessarily think any mindset you have will inhibit your blessings, but it will certainly make the journey there uncomfortable and frustrating. So, yeah, I'm a firm challenger of the idea that like, if you have a negative mindset, you'll manifest negative things or you'll block your blessings. I mean, sure, if the negative mindset stops you from taking action or stops you from putting yourself out there, maybe, but it's not like you're gonna get punished for having expectations or punished for having a negative thought by some cosmic force that is like, was that a negative thought? I'm calling the police. I feel like I'm using that weird voice again. Anyway, let's roll some dice. Okay, we have Pluto. We have second house. Okay, there could be some really significant changes coming to the way that you make money, or significant changes coming to your field of work. Also globally, there could be some big changes coming to like the economy or currencies or cash flow that is affecting you. I don't know why that's coming up right now, but maybe something to make note of. And then we also have the sign of Leo. There is a feeling of you being able to generate income in a way that feels more authentic to you. and in a way that allows you to be creative. I also want to say on your own terms. You could be breaking free from some kind of power struggle that has to do with money. So maybe you felt dependent on someone or something for financial security. So you had to sacrifice your own authenticity, or sacrifice your own creativity, or sacrifice your own like autonomy in order to keep gaining security from this thing or person. And it's like, you don't have to do that anymore. Like Pluto's coming to uproot that. So, you know, an easy example of this is like, oh my gosh, this job kills my creativity. I have to go in every day and wear a mask, and that's really exhausting. I can't be myself in this job. Like I have to suppress myself, but I'm depending on it for money, so there's nothing I can do. Or like, I live with my parents and I don't have a really great relationship with them, and I feel stifled when I'm in that house, but I'm depending on them for security. I'm financially dependent on them, so there's nothing I can do. Like those kinds of dynamics, you will be freed from them because of some shifts in money that, I don't know, it feels like something that's happening on a larger scale. Like there's a big change happening in your field of work, or there's a big change happening, I don't know, like in your country, or with your currency, or with the way money works, or I don't know, but it's making you freer, and it's allowing you to be more creative, and you're exiting any dynamics where you were like financially dependent on someone or something that stifled you. Yeah. Okay, group number 3. Those are all the messages that I have for you. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that. If you enjoy my content and you like to find me elsewhere, I'm gonna have a link down below, my tarot reading Instagram, my personal Instagram, my memberships where you can watch the extendeds that go up every month, as well as exclusive full-length pick a card readings, and my music channel, which includes the intro song of this video that is an original song. I'll also have my latest release linked down below. Thank you guys so much for supporting me, my channel, and anything I do. I really appreciate having you here, and I'm sending so much love to you, your higher self, everyone who appeared in this reading, their higher self, and to your spirit guides, your spiritual team, and all of your loved ones, both here on earth and in the other realms. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.